So I'm here with my client Dennis. I'm going to ask him a few questions about his journey in health and fitness at the age of 75, which he's just sort of recommenced a journey. So I'll ask you, Dennis, first of all, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Dennis, tell us a little bit about sort of where you were at before you started being coached by me over the last few years.
When I turned 75, which was last May, I began to realise that I was on a slippery slope and that I wasn't getting up as easily when I'm gardening. Sitting down, I had to use my hands to lift myself up, and I became aware I had lost a lot of muscle mass and strength. So I called my superstar and we started training.
Why did you decide that it was important to get back into the gym? Did you have any reservations about getting back into the gym? Where was your head at in terms of moving forward in starting to make changes?
I was cautious because I've tried many times to get started, but struggled to find the motivation. But I knew I had to do it because I was looking at shortening my life significantly if I didn't. So that's what motivated me, I think.
Brilliant.
I'd like to live the rest of my days in a better state of health.
It's a very good reason to get yourself back on track and to turn things around.
Correct.
I know having a conversation with you, I mean, we've been working together now for just a few months. It's
Yes.
probably coming on 3 months now.
Yes, coming up 3 months.
Coming up to 3 months, and I guess one of the exciting things that I remember you saying to me is that the fact that you can actually turn things around,
Mm-hmm.
that it's not that we can't make any changes anymore. There's still hope.
Yes.
And I guess what have you felt over the last 3 months? Any breakthroughs in terms of what you've learnt or what you've experienced?
Yes, I have achieved so much more than I thought was possible. I've become so much more aware of my body in a positive way. I can feel that I'm more flexible. I'm moving more easily. I've got all these nice snap, crackles and pops as I move around. And
Which I'll add is better than feeling stiff.
That's
so
right,
The
yes.
movement is enabling you to do more
correct.
and to feel more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm really amazed that I have achieved so much in such a short period of time. And that excites me for the future to do more and more. So, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and that's a big part. Often I'll hear clients or people say that they don't have motivation, and sometimes you just have to stick to the plan, and you've been very consistent with attending gym probably 3 to 4, 5 times a week sometimes.
Yeah.
And then seeing that progress gives you the motivation. You can't rely on the motivation in itself. You've got to rely on the discipline initially,
Yes.
and then the motivation comes when you start to see results.
Yes.
And so I feel like you're at that point now where it's exciting. I guess some of the more specific results, if there's anything you want to share in terms of progress. I know we've done some flexibility measurements which have come up really positive.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else specifically that you can share perhaps in specific results and changes over the last few months that you feel?
Very much so. I explain my spine as being similar to a dog's back leg, and there's a lot of arthritis in there. So I felt pretty frozen in my movement, but now, especially in my lower back and my neck, which were 2 problem areas, I'm feeling far more flexibility, far more movement, and that's giving me, it's encouraging me that I can do a lot more. I may not can be flying like Superman, but I'll be well on my way.
It's a good goal to have though, isn't it?
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, really good.
That's fantastic. And once again, it's also hats off to you for being so consistent, because it would be easy to just turn up once a week to our sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you've done your homework and you do your daily stretches,
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of perhaps 5 minutes a day, plus those extra workouts throughout the week.
Yes.
Putting in that effort is paying off.
Yes, definitely is.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Very.
having your support is very important in that. The way you check in with me in between sessions is very encouraging. And you give me all lots of positive encouragement.
What sort of feedback or advice would you give to people who are perhaps coming back from a long break of doing fitness and living a healthy life and want to get started again? What tips would you give anybody out there who's listening now that would like to make a change to their health?
Yeah. Okay, well, trust yourself. And if you're 75 like me, just look at the skills that you have and focus on what's got you to this age, and you're still standing, and find ways of connecting with your skills in focus, in discipline, and pushing yourself. A very important thing that's helped me is creating what's called a positive feedback loop. So you measure something, you can look at your measurement and say, what a good boy or what a good girl am I? And that encourages you. You're measuring what you're doing and you're using that positive feedback loop to encourage you. Trusting in my trainer and having made such a good choice of my trainer, I think is a very significant part of it. Realising that if I don't measure something, I can't manage it. So I record on a big calendar every session that I work through. And then that holds me accountable. Just as having a trainer checking in on me holds me accountable, then I do the same, and I can tell you that after 2 months, my average attendance at the gym was 3.997 times per week. And then I can say, okay, I want to go to 5 times a week. And then I can measure it. So measurable is most important because then you can manage.
Absolutely, that's such good advice. So thank you so much, Dennis, and very excited to see where the journey takes you, even over the next 3 months and then, into the coming years.
Yes, I am too.
Very exciting.
Yes, it's good.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you.